when I gave my report about 10 minutes ago, you could see the top of my feet. Not the case anymore. They're now shin deep. Somehow this child managed to come about a block and a half and end up here on 38th Street. You see it's a busy road. Roberts registered his address here on the 7200 block of South Fawcett Street. Tacoma police also just released this latest picture of him. This is one face neighbors here say they'll be looking for. Are you guilty?
I have no comment right now.
Did you use Craigslist or a casting call to lure in young girls? This also happens to be the same hospital where Quentin Baxter is recovering. He's the only surviving passenger. We've seen several people already up, out and about. I'm trying to get my tailgating on. Let's see if my cornhole skills are any good. Looks like I need some work. Well, Greg and Dennis, when this initially happened, friends and family, dozens of them came out to try to figure out exactly what happened. You see right now there is a memorial here where people have left flowers on South Yakima Avenue where Michael Ward Jr. was killed. Now, Tacoma police tell me it's still unclear whether he was targeted or if he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. They're answers this family wants to know.
And you guys, guess what? He weighed 4 pounds and 11 ounces.
Looking through old pictures, Irma Ward can't help but smile as she talks about her son, Michael Ward Jr., with Michael's fiance and stepmother.
Yeah, that was the worst delivery I ever had in my life.
Oh. It may be one of the first jokes she's cracked in days.
Michael was something else. He was funny, cared about everybody.
As she shifts from talking about the birth of her son to discussing his death.
I can't even imagine living without him in my life. I don't understand. I don't even understand how I feel right now.
They're the same emotions captured Sunday, hours after Michael Ward was shot outside an after-hours club. Perhaps most painful for the family is not knowing who's responsible and why.
And we are angry because of the way that it had to happen, or that it happened, because it didn't have to happen that way. It didn't. And we don't know. We're still trying to find out what happened.
Answers that won't bring back Michael, but they say at the very least will bring them justice.
The kids are supposed to bury their parents. Parents shouldn't have to bury their children. And I know whoever did this, your day is coming.
Now the family will be holding a candlelight vigil tonight on 21st Street between J Street and MLK. Right now they are trying to raise funds for the funeral services. They say Michael Ward did not have life insurance. We're live from Tacoma tonight. Janet Kim, King 5 News.
King 5's Janet Kim has the details of this exclusive story. Janet.
Well, Dennis and Greg, the lawsuit claims that Canna Corner, a marijuana collective here in Tacoma, will have to shut down. And the owner says he has proof it's because of the color of his skin.
Top quality cannabis.
That smells good. Inside Canna Corner Collective in Tacoma, they believe the marijuana they sell is making a difference.
We help people. We help people with their pain management. We help people when they can't eat because they're going through chemo. We help people that have just got back from the war.
A Help owner, Adam Ingram, says he'll soon have to offer somewhere else. In a lawsuit filed Thursday, Ingram claims he's the victim of racial discrimination, harassment, retaliation, slander, and because of his race, is being expelled from occupancy of his space. In the lawsuit, he claims the mannequin he saw hanging by the neck on his neighbor's property last month proves it.
We weren't aware of the effect that it would have on us when we seen it. It did its job. It struck the fear in us.
Those named in the suit are Ingram's property owner and manager, as well as neighboring business owners Kristen and Tim Wynn, who own a historic building nearby.
This space we're sitting in is where we do mainly weddings.
The Wynns admit they've had disputes with Ingram before, but say it isn't because of his race, but his way of doing business.
They have been targeting our business and trying to sell marijuana to people who are coming to our venue to attend events.
They also admit the mannequin was on their property, but say it's all part of a misunderstanding.
That has nothing to do with us. Even though it was on our property, we didn't bring it onto our property, right, and we didn't touch the thing.
Ingram isn't buying it, and he doesn't believe a jury will either.
And the only thing equivalent to hanging a doll with a reminiscent to me of a Trayvon Martin hoodie, with his pants sagging. The only thing equivalent to that is burning a cross in front of my home.
And we begin with Janet Kim, who joins us live in Darrington, where she got access to a private property area where people have been showing up, volunteering to help. Right, Janet?
That's right, Jean. Now, this here behind me is the Darrington Fire Department. This has been used as the incident command for those on this side of the mountain. Now, this is where the official search and rescue crews have been dispatched from, but they're not the only ones helping out. From the air and on the ground, crews are searching through debris and rubble.
I mean, when you look at it, you just get in shock and you kind of go numb.
Looking for whatever they can find. Mementos, pets, survivors.
We just heard this morning that another dog got rescued, and so if they're still finding dogs alive, why can't we be finding people alive?
But the people you see here aren't official search and rescue.
Majority of who you see here is all friends that have come to lend a hand and help out any way.
They're locals, like Corey Coons,
On this side, go this way.
who lost his aunt in the slide and his home. But his uncle is alive thanks to the same community of neighbors he's with today.
They heard him pounding on that roof. He had a little air pocket and a stick, and he said he was poking up on it, banging on it, and my neighbors and my friends came and started digging him out and just couldn't get to my aunt in time.
At one point in the day, official search and rescue teams and civilians were told to pull back from certain areas due to fear of more slides.
We need, if it's possible, to pull up and get everybody squished up in here. We need to get some rescue personnel to go down below.
Warnings that didn't stop Tammy Bailey's family from continuing their search for their missing cousin, Summer Raffo.
I think that I'm scared for them, and I don't think our family could possibly handle another tragedy. So I want them to come out, but at the same time, I want them to find my cousin.
They also didn't stop Corey and his friends, all determined to serve their community the best way they know how. A horrific scene as a news helicopter fell from the sky onto a downtown Seattle street, slamming into at least 2 vehicles.
It hit the ground and it burst into flames. Like, it landed in between the red car and the gray Tacoma truck.
ABC affiliate Como TV's news helicopter crashed during takeoff from the station's 5th floor helipad next to the city's iconic Space Needle.
Kind of just nose dove over the trees and clipped the top of the trees and crashed just on the other side of the street there.
Witnesses say the helicopter sounded noticeably different before the crash.
We heard the chopper rotors. We heard the noise of a problem, and then we heard the explosion as the chopper hit the ground.
Huge flames and plumes of black smoke poured from the burning wreckage as fuel from the crash burned down the street. Como TV has identified those killed as longtime photographer Bill Strothman and pilot Gary Fitzner.
At times like this, we are reminded that the media, like many of us, are also public servants.
A 38-year-old man in one of the cars struck by the helicopter was taken to a hospital in critical condition.
He pushed the door open, he walked out like 20 feet, his head was bleeding, his shirt was on fire, and he collapsed.
An investigation into what could have led to this deadly crash is underway. Now, Seattle's mayor says the NTSB has taken over the crash site and this area may be restricted for the next 3 to 5 days. Janet Kim, NBC News, Seattle.
Check, check. Are we good?
And I'd like to welcome you today.
It's a big day at Ben Gilbert Park in Tacoma.
This press conference is a kickoff.
Yes, you guys are up there. You're going to go see him?
Yes. Not just for organizers like Melissa Cordera.
There wasn't a dry eye.
Who's been working on the city's gun safety campaign for months.
This is meaningful.
But for this mom,
this is
Davita Briscoe.
She already knows I'm a crier, so. I'm not going to cry this time.
No. Briscoe lost her 17-year-old son, Donald McCaney, 4 years ago.
Look at how great that looks. Look at how good your boy looks.
Oh, my goodness.
It was in this alley near 45th and South Union Avenue when he was shot and killed after a fistfight broke out.
I look mad, don't I?
No, I think you look fantastic.
Oh, okay.
Very somber, poised. Very serious, serious issue.
An image of Briscoe and her son that will be seen throughout the city as part of the gun safety campaign. And they won't be the only ones.
Shalisa's here. She's just up there coming down.
Shalisa Hayes will be there too.
So this is the first time you get to see it.
Hayes also lost her 17-year-old son, Billy Ray Shirley, when he was shot in the Nally Valley Warehouse District in 2011.
I am delighted next to introduce our keynote speaker.
And to this day, she shares his story wherever she goes.
Even in the midst of my grief, I can't give up. This is very near and dear to me, and I appreciate the city for taking the step forward to help raise the awareness that is so needed.
Because despite how much it hurts to talk about it,
He was very friendly.
these moms are fighting.
And well loved. Well loved.
So no one else feels it too.
We're just two moms that are saying this happened to our sons and we don't want it to happen to other people.
In Tacoma, Janet Kim, King 5 News.